This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, the new show in the Arrowverse. Superman and Lois is about a month away now, and I have a very interesting theory about it and the future of the Arrowverse. It was leaked that Wally Parks will be playing a version of Lex Luthor on the show. This doesn't sound like anything big until you realize that Wally Parks is an African American actor, and recently in Supergirl it has been confirmed that John Cryer's Lex Luthor is still part of the Earth Prime timeline, so that makes little to no sense. I did have an interesting theory about that, and I think that this version of Luthor, which is being called Captain Luthor, is actually Apex Predator Lex Luthor from the comic books. First off, you may be wondering who this is, because it's likely you never heard of it. Apex Predator Lex Luthor is a version of Luthor who's been combined with a Martian to become even more powerful and works under the god Perpetua in the setup for Dark Knight's death metal. I think one of the reasons behind this is that when you see most Martians in the Arrowverse, they're portrayed in their human form as an African American character, and that could be why Luthor is being played by an actor of a different race, and explain why there could be more than one Luthor on Earth Prime, since the Supergirl story will be continued on, with Cryer's Luthor likely appearing in it, since he seems to have a major role in the season finale, and would continue on into it, even if it is just to finish up the story that they had for season 5. But why would Apex Predator Lex Luthor come? I think this could be interestingly setting up the next crossover event, or possibly even something bigger, of a crossover event between the DCEU, most TV shows, and other movies, which could be a new interpretation and the first film version of Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Knight's Death Metal. I think this is the one and only way that DC will be able to one-up Marvel, since if they go with the Darkseid storyline like they have been going towards for now, it will feel too much like Thanos, and since Crisis on Infinite Earths just happened, which was confirmed to include the Earth that the DCEU takes place on, we need something big to happen, and it seems like Dark Knight's Metal and Death Metal could be the response and version of Infinity War and Endgame. If not, it could still be the next Arrowverse crossover and be set up by this one. It would still be interesting, where I think that next season, for all the shows that are still active, the villains could be ones that are part of the Dark Knights, which is a group of evil versions of Batman, which could include Red Death as a villain for the Flash, who was already teased a few seasons ago in the Flash Forward episode where they were in Nora's memories. Even if that doesn't set up anything, I still think he'll be a good villain. So you could have a Lex Luthor that is on the power level of Superman. You could have a more interesting final season battle between Superman and Luthor, which isn't the typical one of Superman versus Lex in his power armor. This also could set up the regular Luthor, played by John Cryer, to be set up to come into later into the Arrowverse and into Superman and Lois to be a villain later on in the show. And we'll still leave potential for Luthor, and if this version of him dies, we still have another version of Luthor on Earth Prime, since Lex Luthor is one of the biggest villains in comic history. Probably only suppressed by the Joker, at least for DC. And I think that he was perfect to keep alive, especially since they're not going to kill off Lex Luthor again, since they did that back during Supergirl Season 4. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories, and may the Force be with you.